Imagine a killer who sits right beside you, drinks your wine, and smiles at your jokes while plotting your downfall, all while remaining completely undetected. We grow up hearing tales of massive armies clashing in the mud to decide the fate of Westeros, but the most consequential battles occur through whispers, espionage, and dark magic. By the year 212 AC, a fragile peace settles over the Seven Kingdoms. King Aegon V sits on the Iron Throne, but his hand, the albino sorcerer Lord Bloodraven, exerts the real control from the shadows. Bloodraven maintains order through total omniscience. In an era of constant rebellion, he relies on a network of eyes and ears that makes his influence feel inescapable. Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire, Prince Aegon, are traveling north when they encounter a wealthy retinue. They join Lord Peake and a charismatic knight named John the Fiddler on their way to a wedding tourney at Castle Whitewalls. The lord of the castle has provided a grand prize for the victor, a petrified dragon's egg, a relic of the Targaryen dynasty not seen in the realm for nearly a century. As the guests arrive, Prince Aegon notices a pattern in the banners. The hall is filled with the sigils of House Costain, Strickland, and Sunderland. Every one of these families fought against the Iron Throne during the First Blackfyre Rebellion. The wedding is a cover. This is a war council of active traitors, and Dunk and Egg are now trapped in the middle of it. Dunk enters the jousting lists and is quickly defeated. As he yields, his opponent reveals that a bribe was paid to ensure the Hedge Knight died during the match. Before Dunk can find his attacker, the castle falls into a panic. The dragon's egg has been stolen directly from the castle vault. Lord Peake immediately blames an innocent bastard knight, Sir Glendon Ball, subjecting the boy to torture to hide the fact that the rebellion's leadership is already fracturing. Searching the dark castle, Dunk is ambushed. A jealous knight lunges from the shadows and slashes his side, leaving the giant bleeding in the courtyard. Between the bribery, the internal theft, and the midnight assassinations, the rebel alliance proves to be a coalition of rivals who trust one another as little as they trust the crown. As Dunk's vision fades, a sardonic knight named Sir Maynard Plum steps from the shadows to tend to his wounds. Plum reveals the secret at the heart of the tourney. John the Fiddler is actually Daemon II Blackfyre. He is here to claim the egg and restart the Civil War. Plum uses a glamour, a magical illusion anchored by his moonstone brooch. This sorcery bends light to project a false identity. When the projection dissolves, it reveals an albino man with a single red eye and a jagged wine-stained birthmark. Sir Maynard Plum is actually Lord Bloodraven. The king's hand used dark magic to walk through the front door of the rebellion, drinking and feasting with the very men he intended to destroy. Prince Egg acts first. He uses his royal signetling to bluff Lord Butterwell, convincing the panicked lord that a royal army has already surrounded the castle. To give Egg time to work, the wounded Dunk enters the Great Hall. He challenges Daemon Blackfyre to a trial by combat, accusing the rebels of framing the innocent Sir Glendon for the egg theft. In the duel, the tortured and half-dead Sir Glendon catches Daemon with a lance, throwing the Blackfyre claimant violently backward into the mud. As Daemon falls, the sun rises to reveal a massive royal army encircling Whitewalls, precisely as Egg had claimed. Bloodraven synchronized his psychological infiltration with a crushing display of military force, paralyzing the enemy's ability to react. Seeing the royal banners and realizing Bloodraven had been among them the whole time, the rebel lords surrender without a single sword being drawn in open war. Bloodraven keeps Daemon Blackfyre alive as a prisoner in the Red Keep. This ensures that as long as the true king is a captive, the rebels in Essos cannot crown a successor. The prophecy of a dragon hatching at Whitewalls proved true, though not in the way Daemon expected. By leveraging his royal identity to bluff a lord into submission, Prince Egg stepped out of his role as a mere squire. However, one detail remains unresolved. The physical dragon's egg was never found. Bloodraven's agents stole it during the chaos, and it vanished from the historical record. Decades later, a similar egg appears at the Palace of Summerhall. The attempt to hatch it results in a magical inferno that consumes the royal family, including Dunk and Egg. Bloodraven successfully dismantled a rebellion through deception and fear. but the magical artifacts he collected during the process remained, waiting to play a role in the dynasty's eventual tragedy.